In all of this, what we see is the fact that the zero-sum game is being played on the Nigerian people. When you look at it deeply, it's about the politicians, but not about the Nigerian people. What do the Nigerian people need? They need justice. They need justice as regards an electoral process. So when somebody, the president-elect, starts to talk about national competence and all of that, irrespective of the elections, the question we should ask him is, can he vouch for the process that brought him in? Because yesterday, one of his spokespersons, Mr. Dele Alake, said this elections has been the fairest and the fairest since 1999. I put it to Mr. Dele Alake that what he said is untrue. It's a lie. These elections were not free, were not fair, were fraught with a lot of irregularities. And part of the game theory you're also talking about, Dr. Abati, is also media manipulation. That's another game. And that's why I say, see, in the coming days, there's going to be a fight for the truth. What dominates the truth? And in fighting for the truth, a lot of societal actors will deploy many tactics. Part of them is one tactic called gaslighting. What is gaslighting? They tell you something that happened never happened. In fact, they will controvert your evidence and say your evidence isn't true. When people are gaslighting you, after they've been able to controvert your evidence, they say, go and provide your evidence. And you're going to see a lot of that. So Nigerian people, please be watchful. A lot of those games are going to happen. There's going to be an all-out media war in the coming days. It's part of the game. But the sad reality of the game is that Nigerians are always being played in the zero-sum game. The zero-sum game in game theory is pretty much a game that affects and favors the winner, and the other person doesn't get anything. Going back to his statement, he came out to say you'll build a government of competence, which is supposed to be the right refrain. But the question we should ask is, have we finished interrogating the process that led to his emergence in the first place before we can say we want to build a government of competence? Those are the questions we should ask ourselves. Yes, I have not ever subscribed to government of national unity because we know the historical antecedents of that. Shagari and Nzikiwe tried that in 1979. We also ended. It is always going to be skewed in favor of one party or the other. But what a lot of Nigerians are commenting about is the fact that the process and the guidelines, were they followed by INEC? If the answer has been answered as regards that no, then let's allow the court take its course. And let's also be patient and conciliatory in the statement we make. I've got nothing against Bola Tinubu talking about he wants a government of competence. That's what we want, and that's a welcome development. Because for too many times, we've had a lot of incompetent people serve our country. But also, we should not, because we are in the spirit of political gamemanship, negating the truth, because the truth is the fabric that builds a society. And the funny thing about the truth is that it is resolute, it is constant, it never leaves. No matter how much you try as much as possible to bring about alternative reality, like Kelly and Conway invented that word, Trump surrogate in America, the truth is constant. And what is the truth about these elections? That INEC didn't follow its own process, and that's why we call on the judiciary to stand tall and allow the truth prevail in this country. So that's the grand analysis of it. But he can say he wants a government of competence, he can do power voting, you can flex muscle and all of that. He's president-elect, but he's too subject to the courts. That's all I'll say about this. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has reiterated confidence in the judiciary to adjudicate in controversial presidential election, despite the controversy surrounding some of the rulings in recent times. But he said his trust in the Independent National Electoral Commission has evaporated. He said his confidence was drawn from the fact that justices were Nigerians and they were aware of how bad the situation had been in the country, adding that only the truth and justice will save the country. And what his reaction will be if the nation decided to go on with the situation, he said he will be shocked that if the country went on with the rascality of criminality,